are the stories from across the world in just 30 minutes. Lenders of the cash-strapped Jet Airways has refused emergency funding to the airlines. A second emergency board meet of the senior managers of the board will take place today to take a call on the future course of action. The airline has extended cancellation of all international operations to April 19 due to the fund crunch. There are only about 7 flights on domestic routes that are operational. India is likely to receive a near-normal monsoon rain this year. The Indian Met Department has forecasted that monsoon rainfall is likely to be 96% of the long-period average. The possibility of any chance of a strong El Niño has been particularly ruled out. The southwest monsoon that makes its onset over India around May end has a strong bearing on farm output and economic growth in India. Defence Research Development Organisation of India has successfully test-fired India's first indigenous subsonic cruise missile, Nirbhay. A 1,000-kilometre strike missile was successfully test-fired from the integrated test range in Chandipur, Odisha. The missile's ability to fly at low altitudes would enable it to avoid detection by enemy radar. It also has the capability of striking a target across multiple targets. The DRDO's stellar accomplishment has earned appreciation all over Twitter. A major fire engulfed the medieval Cathedral of Notre-Dame in Paris. The fire began at 6:30 p.m. local time and quickly reached the roof of the building. Spire and roof of the 50-year-old Gothic building collapsed. The main structure and the 2 bell towers were saved. Some 500 firefighters worked to prevent one of the bell towers from collapsing. Authorities said that the fire could be linked to a renovation work that was underway after cracks began to appear in the stone. Paris prosecutor's office said that it has opened, in fact, an inquiry into the fire. The French President Emmanuel Macron pledged to rebuild the Notre-Dame Cathedral. Macron said that the cathedral was an integral part of France's history, literature and destiny. Macron said that the historic landmark would be rebuilt together and with the greatest talents from across the border. Macron said, and I quote here, "Let's be proud because we built this cathedral more than 800 years ago. We have built it and throughout the centuries let it grow and improved it. So I solemnly say tonight we will rebuild it together," unquote. One of France's richest families stepped up to Macron's calls. French billionaire François Pinault pledged €100 million towards the rebuilding of Notre-Dame Cathedral. In a statement, the CEO of the Caring Group said that the money would be paid by the Pinault family's investment firm Artemis. The Caring Group owns Gucci fashion house. Former Israeli Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman has said that he's supporting, in fact, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu post-election. Lieberman's Ultra Nationalist Party is one of the 5 Jewish parties that have pledged support to Netanyahu. Lieberman said that the country has cast his mandate and his party will honor the decision, adding that he will recommend Benjamin Netanyahu as the candidate to form the government in front of the president. And there is no end to protest in Sudan. Protesters continue to dance and chant during their sit-in near the Defense Ministry building in Khartoum. Though the army attempted to disperse the demonstrations, the protesters joined hands and formed rings around the sit-in area to check the forces. The Sudanese group that led protests against deposed President Omar al-Bashir called for the Transitional Military Council to be disbanded and for a new interim civilian ruling council to be formed. The Lima Group regional bloc called for the exit of foreign security and intelligence forces from Venezuela. The group reiterated its rejection of the use of military force in Caracas and called nations to step up sanctions against the Maduro government. The Lima Group also demanded that Venezuela's foreign property should be under control of opposition leader Juan Guaido. A Chilean foreign minister has urged the international community to support the so-called transition process in Venezuela and help in restoring democracy in Venezuela. U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said that a post-Brexit trade deal between the U.S. and the U.K. won't happen if there is any weakening of the Good Friday Agreement. Nancy Pelosi said that in such an event there would be quote-unquote no chance whatsoever of a trade accord. Speaking at the School of Economics, Pelosi said that the Good Friday Agreement could not be bargained away in another agreement. There are concerns that the Good Friday Agreement could be in jeopardy as politicians seek to end the Brexit deadlock. The agreement sought to bring peace after years of troubles in Ireland. U.S. President Donald Trump urged Boeing to rebrand its 737 MAX jetliner following 2 fatal crashes. Trump tweeted, and I'm quoting here, "What do I know about branding? Maybe nothing, but if I were Boeing, I would fix the Boeing 737 MAX, add some additional great features and rebrand the plane with a new name. No product has suffered like this one, but again, what do I know?" Boeing replied to Trump's comments saying that rebuilding public trust was their focus now. The plane maker said it was focused on fixing the problem. A full rebranding of the MAX fleet is unlikely. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband have pleaded not guilty to 2 conspiracy charges in the college admissions scandal. The couple is accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their daughters admitted to the University of Southern California as crew recruits, even though neither is a rower. The duo have also waived their right to appear in court for an arraignment on money laundering case. The U.S.-Mexico border tensions doesn't seem to go away just yet. A caravan of some 2,000 migrant families was seen heading towards the U.S. border from southern Mexico yesterday. Families living in the U.S.-Mexico border mostly migrate in search of better economic conditions. U.S. President Donald Trump, who has often accused Mexico of failing to contain illegal immigration, wants a border wall built to stop people from illegally migrating to the border state. Minority Shiite Hazaras in Pakistan's Quetta city continued their sit-in protest for the 3rd day in a row. The protests were in response to the April 12th suicide bomb attack that left 19 dead and dozens injured. The attack, in fact, targeted a busy market in Quetta, and most of the victims were from the minority Hazara community. The Islamic State had claimed responsibility for that attack. South Korean President Moon Jae-in has said that he's ready for a 4th summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to help salvage faltering nuclear negotiations. between the North and the US. Moon's comments, in fact, came after Kim last week accused Seoul of acting like an overstepping mediator in the stalled nuclear talks. Moon has been eager to revive those talks since Kim's failed second summit with Trump in Hanoi in February. The former CEO of Volkswagen, Martin Winterkorn, has been charged in Germany over his involvement in the company's diesel emissions scandal. Winterkorn is already facing criminal charges in the USA but is unlikely to face trial as Germany does not extradite its citizens. 71-year-old resigned soon after the scandal erupted in September 2015. Dutch brothers accused of beating a Prague waiter last year appeared for their first day of trial in Prague yesterday. Armin and Arash were facing charges of attempted murder for assaulting the waiter. Brothers in their first day of trial in fact regretted their last year's reckless actions and also offered to support to the waiter. If convicted, the Dutch brothers would face 18 years in prison. The German and Spanish lawmakers have called for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's release, saying Ecuadorian government's action has been in flagrant violation of international law. A group of lawmakers have also urged EU governments to protect Julian Assange against possible extradition to the US. Lawmakers held a news conference outside Belmarsh prison, where founder Julian Assange is held. In El Salvador, it's a battle between good and evil. Salvador's Easter kicked off with the traditional ceremony where men dressed as devils whipped each other during an event meant to highlight the universal struggle of good versus evil. The annual tradition took place in a town located some 83 kilometers north of San Salvador. Hundreds flocked from surrounding regions to take part in the event. In London, protesters briefly blocked the Waterloo Bridge and cut off access to other landmarks as they tried to bring the city to a standstill. The group, who called themselves the Extinction Rebellion, tried to block 5 central London locations to demand that the British government declare a climate emergency. The Extinction Rebellion drew attention to its cause 2 weeks ago when members stripped to their underwear in the public gallery in Parliament during a Brexit debate. Police have advised Londoners to leave earlier for their journeys because of possible delays caused by the protest. Three eagles have shown exemplary co-parenting on a nest in Illinois. 2 males and 1 female bald eagle were spotted caring for 3 eaglets born this month in a nest along the upper Mississippi River. The National Society, in fact, has said that it's rare to have 3 eagles sharing a nest, as males tend to be territorial. Experts said that what's even more remarkable is the case is that the 2 males stayed together and courted a new female after their first mate died. A group has also named the birds. The 2 dads are named Valor 1 and Valor 2, and the mother is Star. Experts are also hosting a live stream of the eagle's nest. festive time in Nepal as the country welcomes its new year. Thousands gathered in the streets of Nepal to take part in the New Year celebrations. Some of the traditional rituals included smearing each other with vermilion powder and carrying palanquins through crowds of revelers. Hundreds of people gathered in the medieval city of Bhaktapur for the annual Sindoor Jatra, a festival that marks the beginning of the local New Year and a celebration of the spring season. People from villages around the city joined them, playing drums and singing. This popular and colorful festival is celebrated to thank the gods for the spring weather and pray for good harvest during the upcoming monsoon season. An approximately 70-million-year-old duck-billed dinosaur and her young son were reconstructed to take center stage at an exhibition in Paris. A duck-billed dinosaur named as Hippacrosaurus is made of the most important meteorite in the world, called Black Beauty. The exhibition opened on April 13th and focused on a trip through time and space. The auction had put out 120 objects on display for visitors, which included dinosaur skeletons, fossils, meteorites, minerals, and stuffed animals. The auction is scheduled to take place today and is likely to fetch between 750,000 to 900,000 euros. Sports news now. An explosive cameo by Hardik Pandya inspired the Mumbai Indians to a 5-wicket victory over the Royal Challengers Bangalore as Virat Kohli's side suffered his 7th defeat in 8 matches at the Wankhede Stadium. AB de Villiers' blistering knock of 75 powered Bangalore to a competitive score of 171, with Lasith Malinga finishing with 4 wickets in the innings. The RCB spinners put the visitors in control, but Pandya's destructive knock of 36 from 16 balls took Mumbai home with an over to spare. Rohit Sharma's side climbed to 3rd in the table with the win. In tonight's IPL clash, Kings 11 Punjab host Rajasthan Royals in Mohali. The earlier fixture between the two sides saw the infamous mankading episode take place between Punjab skipper Ravichandran Ashwin and Josh Butler. Kings 11 eventually won that match in Jaipur, but the incident in fact became the talking point of the cricketing world. Royals won their last match against Mumbai but have struggled in the last season so far with just 2 victories in their 7 games. The Indian Cricket Board, the BCCI, has announced Team India's 15-man squad for the World Cup in England next month. Batsman Ambati Rayudu and wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant haven't made the cut. All-rounder Vijay Shankar has been picked in Rayudu's place and will bat at number 4. Dinesh Karthik has been picked for the role of backup wicketkeeper to MS Dhoni. Batsman KL Rahul has been picked as backup opener in the squad, while experienced spinning all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja has also made the cut. Staying with cricket, former captain Steve Smith and vice-captain David Warner have been named in Australia's World Cup squad after serving year-long bans for ball tampering. Both players were suspended for their role during the ball tampering scandal during a test match in South Africa last year. In-form all-rounder Peter Handscomb and pacer Josh Hazlewood have been left out of the 15-member squad. Aaron Finch will captain the playing team at the World Cup starting on 30th of May. In tennis, India's Prajnesh Guneswaran has achieved a career-high ranking of 80 in the latest ATP rankings released on Monday. A 9-year-old who broke into the top 100 in February this year improved 2 places to become the 6th highest ranked player in the history of Indian tennis. Prajnesh had reached the 3rd round of the Indian Wells in his maiden appearance at an ATP Masters event. The Champions League returns tonight with Manchester United travelling to Barcelona for the second leg of the quarter-final tie at the Nou Camp. The Red Devils gave an encouraging display in the first leg at Old Trafford, but were beaten 1-0 by the Spanish champions. United pulled off a sensational comeback in the previous round, beating PSG in their own backyard to progress to the last 8. But Barcelona are unbeaten in the last 30 home games in the Champions League, which is a competition record. And in the other Champions League clash of the night, Italian champions Juventus faced Dutch giants Ajax in Turin with a tie finally poised at 1-1. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 125th goal in the champions to give Juventus the lead in Amsterdam. But an outstanding goal by David Neres made it all square heading into the second leg. Juventus are aiming to reach their 3rd semi-finals in the last 5 seasons, but they will be up against side which stunned 3-time defending champions Real Madrid in the previous round. Cast members and directors of Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame visited Seoul for the Asian stop on Monday to promote the latest film of the franchise, which director Joe Russo said had a message against individualism and nationalism. He was joined by co-director Anthony Russo along with Robert Downey Jr., Jeremy Renner and Brie Larson. Captain Marvel actress Brie Larson, who was in Marvel's first solo female superhero movie, said her character represents the importance of equality. Avengers Endgame is set to hit cinemas in South Korea on April 24th, 2019, 2 days before the US premiere. According to reports, Fleabag creator-actor Phoebe Waller-Bridge will be polishing the script of the next James Bond film, currently known as Bond 25. Sources close to the makers of the film reveal that Daniel Craig, Agent 007, himself has requested the multi-talented personality to add her signature wit and humor to the screenplay. Craig, who lives in New York with actor wife Rachel Weisz, is a Fleabag fan and also of Killing Eve, which Waller-Bridge developed. Legendary Cantonese star Anthony Wong won the Best Actor award for a 3rd time at the 38th Hong Kong Film Awards held on April 14th. After a hiatus from films, Wong made a comeback alongside newcomer Krizel Kosunji in Still Human. The film chronicles the friendship between a middle-aged construction worker and his domestic helper. Among other big winners at the awards night was Project Gutenberg. Written and directed by Felix Chong and starring film legend Chow Yun-fat. It picked up the award for Best Film and received honours for 6 other categories. With a few days left for the official trailer to be released, Salman Khan gave a treat to his fans by sharing his first look from his upcoming film Bharat. The 53-year-old actor shared the poster on social media. Along with Salman, the film also stars Katrina Kaif, Disha Patani and Tabu in the lead roles. The film is directed by Ali Abbas Zafar, who after the super success of Tigers in the Hair is reuniting with Katrina and Salman. The film is set to hit the screens on June 5th.